Yo, what's going on YouTube? TeaZea back with another video. Today's video we are doing top 4 weapons to use in Call of Duty. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So first we have the PDW-57. Now the PDW-57 is a really good rushing gun and the spawn breacher. As you can see in the gameplay, I'm somewhat camping their spawn and just picking off people with a damage of 100. And a full magazine. That is pretty cool. 50 rounds, that's a lot of bullets, and plus it's an SMG. This gun is probably one of the most overpowered weapons in this game, and I get knifed by a guy here. And this is one of the top 4 which I picked for overpowered weapons. This weapon does quite well long distance. As you see, this guy, I pinned him pretty well. If he didn't have the sniper rifle, I probably would have finished him off. But this is a very overpowered weapon, and if you are into SMGs, which technically I'm not really into SMGs, you can really pick people off quickly with this thing. It fires so fast, especially at close range. Your enemies won't even know what's coming to them. Sadly though, patch notes from the Chinese version state that the gun will be looked at, which means that they're going to probably nerf it, because it does quite a bit of damage, and even not upgraded, it does quite a bit of damage. So expect for future updates to go ahead and nerf this weapon, but from my standpoint, currently this is one of the most overpowered weapons in the game. Also, if you're one of those people who camp in this game, I recommend this weapon because this weapon does quite well actually. So if you are a camper, go ahead and use this weapon. Now on to our next weapon. We have the AK-47 Red Action, which is specifically from the Battle Pass, Preseason 1 Battle Pass, which we are currently on. You can I'm just like double tapping people with this thing, so I just hold down for 2 seconds, then release, and it does great. And another thing is, when fully upgraded, like I have it, it has a perk to it where you can actually, your bullets, less recoil, further distance, something on those lines, and it does quite well actually. Headshots with this weapon are just crazy, and it honestly beats them for in pretty much every category minus the recoil. The recoil did take me quite a bit of time to go ahead and get down, but if you have the laser attachment and also the vertical grip attachment, it makes the recoil a lot less noticeable. Also, it's just a recoil. I mean, recoil patterns aren't really a thing in this game, from my opinion, but I'm pretty sure later updates will change that. So now we have the Arctic 50, and the Arctic 50 is quite an overpowered weapon. This weapon isn't as overpowered as the DL is, but this can pretty much one-tap anyone. With a base damage of 95, it does quite well. One taps headshots, unlike most automatic weapons. And this is really a good gun if you're into snipers and you know how to use snipers well. It shoots through walls quite well with accuracy, and personally, because even up close, as you saw that, which was actually kind of a sticky situation, but this weapon is one of the go-to sniper rifles. There are really only 2 sniper rifles that I mess with, and it's this is my second favorite sniper rifle, but it's definitely a powerful one. And I even have this really cool skin. A guy doesn't give me the courtesy to knife me, but this is a really good sniper rifle. Accuracy, I mean, isn't all there like the other sniper rifle is, but it does pretty well. You can what is it called, peek corners with this thing, and does quite a bit of damage. Right here, accuracy is on point. This weapon, I recommend you run this sight on it. If you run a large scope, it's probably not going to get the best effect out of it, because sometimes I like using this thing close range, and if you have a bigger scope, that really isn't going to help much. But the only attachments I really recommend for this are extended mag, no, not extended, quick draw mag. Keep forgetting this isn't PUBG. The quick draw mag, so your reload only takes about like 1.5 seconds, I don't recommend a suppressor on this, but if you're a suppressor type guy, then go ahead and do that, because the suppressor reduces the range, which can also affect damage. So just quick draw mag, this what I'm going to call a level 2 scope, and what are those armor piercing rounds. So on to our next sniper rifle. This is the DL, my favorite gun in the whole entire game, which I believe is the most overpowered weapon. This is a straight up one tap weapon. I did post the video of where these clips came from, and you see just picking off people, boom, boom, boom. You know, you see one tap, one tap, one tap. And if you get this weapon, I recommend you upgrade it to its fullest. I do have armor piercing rounds on it, so it does go from 95 to 100. I believe it's 95 base model, but I haven't played with the base model in quite a bit of time. But yeah, man, this gun is probably the most overpowered weapon in the game. Funny thing, I think the nade should be on this list, because the nade does quite a bit of damage. Oh, excuse me. The nade does quite a bit of damage too, but look at this. Boom, one tap, boom, one tap. And the difference between the Arctic is this has way much more maneuverability. You could use this weapon in close spaces, and it doesn't feel too chunky, and it doesn't feel too, what's the word? It doesn't feel too heavy in your hands. And I feel like this is like my go-to weapon, especially since I main in sniper rifles. You can do all sorts of tricks with this weapon, especially up close. You can do all sorts of 360s and everything like that. So this weapon I do recommend. The attachments I recommend to for this, like I said, I don't necessarily recommend the big scope, because the big scope can affect your gameplay, especially up close. If you like to hip fire, I do hip fires quite a bit of time, and I also do quick scopes on the majority of my shots. So you can't really quick scope with a big scope, but if you do like that, that's gonna be pretty hard to do with a big scope. So I recommend you just keep that. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. If you don't follow me on Snapchat, here goes my Snap code, and follow me. Peace.